Welcome, thank you for joining me. We're going to be doing some yoga that's available for people to do if they're at their desk at the office still. If you have something that you can use as a strap, that would be really awesome. If you don't, if you can't find a piece of cord or a length of some sort, don't worry about it. We can do everything without. So we're going to start by coming towards the front edge of the seat, placing the feet onto the floor, with shoes off preferably. Let the hands rest on the front of the thighs. Feel the sits bones resting onto the edge of the chair. So the thighs are completely off the chair. Take a moment to settle yourself. Feel the balance from one side to the other. Thinking about the balancing places of your feet, your sitting bones, your shoulders and your head. Your belly begin to relax. And take some slow, deep breaths here. Letting go of anything that came before the session. Allowing yourself to become completely in the present moment. Feeling the sits bones against the chair. Feeling the feet against the earth. Shoulders relaxed. Head in neutral position at the top of the spine. Neither tilting forward nor tilting back. The gaze internal at your breath. As you next exhale, interlock the fingers. Stretch the hands away from you and round the back slightly. Pop the belly towards the spine. And then as you inhale, lift the chest forward and reach the arms up. Exhale, a little curve to one side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, curve to the other side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, round your back. Backs of the hands pushing away from you, palms facing your body. Pull the belly in. And inhale, stretch it up. Make it a little more organic now. You're moving dynamically from side bend to an arch to the other side. And maybe make it a little forward action as well. Do whatever feels nice to wake up your spine, to get into the shoulder girdle, and to move the pelvis. When we sit in a chair all day in one position, our pelvis gets a little stuck. We need to move it. See if you can feel the tilt backwards and forwards. And from here, drop the left hand down your back. Point the left elbow at the ceiling and use your right hand as a little bit of leverage to open up this space down the side of the arm. Soften your belly. Keep the spine neutral though, so you're not arcing forward, you're not pushing your belly out, but letting the whole of the torso stay in a neutral line. Try and make sure that the head isn't being affected, that the neck is relaxed, the head is balanced. So that gentle stretch to the armpit, to the inside of the arm. And as you exhale, bring the arms forward and we're going to cross the left elbow on top of the right, twining your forearms. If you can, bring your hands to the palms together or hold the thumb. Lift the elbows up and feel this getting into the space of the upper back. I'll be seen from the side so you can see what I mean. My forearms are twined with the elbow lift. It's the upper back region, particularly the rhomboids, the muscle between the spine and the shoulder blade, the scapula. Getting into a little stretch there. And as you inhale, release the arms, give the shoulders a little roll. And you can do these poses standing up. If you've been sitting down too much and you'd rather stand for them, absolutely stand. Or if you're on your yoga mat sitting on the floor, it's great. You don't have to be on a chair. Reach the arms up, bend the elbows, taking the back of the right hand down, or the right hand down your back, And the left hand is holding on to the right elbow, stretching that elbow up towards the ceiling. Be neutral through your spine. So we're not arcing our back and pushing our rib cage and our belly forward, but keeping the front of the body soft. Deep, slow breaths here. Opening that armpit region. Taking the arm into a different rotation than what we normally do when we're sitting at our desk. When we're working on the keyboard or using the mouse, this is not an arm position that comes naturally. So it's good to change the way the physical body is structured. And then as you exhale, bring the arms forward. This time the right elbow is crossing over the left. Lift the elbows up and feel how that broadens across the upper back. Consciously breathe into this area. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the focus on the parts of your body that need stimulation. Our upper back gets tight for many people who are sitting at a desk, using a computer, a keyboard, a mouse. We're trying to create space where there's not normally space and trying to bring a sense of ease into the areas of our body. And as you next exhale, release, rolling the shoulders. If you have a strap, grab it, or a piece of cord, a belt, a scarf, a tie. Ooh, you've got a co-worker nearby that's wearing a tie, just go and say that you need to borrow it for purposes of body health. Take the strap and place it in your hands so that the hands are about shoulder width or just slightly more apart. And inhale and reach the arms up overhead. And begin some little circles here. You might like to do figure eights. You might like to do a pure circle, moving in one direction. Try not to let the circles be too big for now. Gently beginning to lubricate the glenohumeral joint, which is the ball and socket joint of the shoulder. And then change direction, circling the other way. And coming to stillness, we're going to do a little side bend to each side, flowing through the side bend, one side to the other. Back up to center. Change your strap so that your arms can get a little further apart, sliding them out along the strap so they're much wider. And we're going to exhale and take the arms back behind us, just to that place where you feel some resistance, that little juicy spot. Let them settle there. Maybe give a couple of tiny bounces. If your arms aren't straight and you don't feel comfortable, raise the height of the arms, but also lengthen the distance between the hands. And you find that place where you can sink around that resistance. Let yourself feel it. Inhale up, and then exhale back again. You might find you can go a little further. You might just still be sitting around the same place. Inhale up. We're going to start to make circles. So one arm comes, or both arms end up coming forward, and the other arm circles around and back, with the opposite hand following. The top arm is making these big circles, and then it turns to the bottom arm making circles. You don't have to look exactly like I do. This is about getting mobility through the shoulders. So find the circling action that gives you a feeling that you are getting into all the components of that ball and socket joint. We're lubricating it. We're bringing in the yin, bringing in the fluid, so that it moves like it should. And then pause and change direction, circling the other way. Couple more circles here. Releasing the strap, pop it off to the side. A few shoulder rolls. As you exhale, twisting to one side, inhaling back through center, twisting to the other side. Move a couple of times dynamically before we settle into the twist. Let the spine get used to rotating on its axis. One more time to each side. And then this next time, let yourself twist and remain there. Feel into the whole length of the spine. Relax the belly. Let your breath come right down into the belly. Really beneficial for the digestive organs. We're wringing them out with the twisting action and breathing deeply. We're also encouraging fresh blood flow. As you inhale, bring yourself back through center and exhale, twisting the opposite direction. Notice what's happening through your spine. Does it feel easier or harder this way? Inhale, bring yourself back to center. Coming up to standing, move your chair off to the side. You can use it for stability if you'd like to. So just have it handy. Take your feet so they're evenly balanced on the earth and around about hip distance apart. Sink into the buttocks, bending the knees. And inhale, raise the arms up. Take a moment to feel the Achilles tendon, the calf, the ankle, the feet on the floor. And then interlock your hands, stretch the palms away. And as you inhale, straighten the legs and lift the heels. You're coming up onto the balls of your feet, stretching up as high as you comfortably can. And exhale, sink into that chair pose again. Chair pose, but you're not actually sitting. You're using the muscles of your thighs, and it can be quite strong. And interlock the hands again. See if you can do it with the other little finger underneath. Stretch the palms away and start to lift and straighten, coming up onto the balls of the feet. If you find this pose really easy, you could probably stay here for 10 minutes. Challenge yourself by closing your eyes. Just make sure that if you do fall, that you're not going to injure yourself, you're not falling onto something. We tend to fall forward, so you can usually know what's in front of you. Taking another breath or two here. It does get hard to maintain the balance. Finding your drishti, a point to gaze at that is not moving, can help. And then exhale, let yourself sink back into chair pose. And then inhale to stand, bring your hands onto your hips. You might like to widen the distance of your feet. Let your knees bend a little. We're going to do some pelvic tilting. So you're going to be tilting your ASIS, or the hip bones, up to face the ceiling. And then you're going to be tilting them down to face the floor. Or you can think about your tailbone tucking under and the tail lifting up. So imagine you have a tail, when it tucks under, you're just being told off, and when it lifts, you're happy. Moving the pelvic bone, pelvic bowl Really good when you're sitting stationary so much during the day. Our pelvis tends to lose its movement. And this is the start of our spine. It's our stabilizing area. You want it to be flexible, but also to have stability and strength. When it gets stuck, that means that the rest of the body that spreads away from it doesn't work properly. It's a really good exercise to do first thing in the morning. And then coming up to standing, we're going to interlock the hands, stretch them out in front of us as we bend our knees and pull our belly to our spine. So you can see my upper back is rounding here. And then as you inhale, bring the hands towards the chest. Lift the chest up towards the hands and arch your back. Exhale, bend the knees and round. Inhale up and arch. You can look up towards the ceiling. Feel the chest lifting to the hands on that inward movement. Inhale. Feel the belly pulling to the spine on the outward movement with exhale, or the backward movement. Couple more flows here. One more time. Making your way back up to standing. This is where you might need your chair. Take your left foot and make sure it's feeling very confident on the floor. Bring your right knee up in front of your body. Open the knee out to the side and place the sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh if you can. So you can see I've automatically gone to resting on the chair, even though I can balance here without it. If you can't get your foot onto your thigh, then take it onto your calf. Avoid pushing the foot into the knee. Knees really don't like sideways action. And if you can't get the foot onto the leg, either thigh or the lower leg, instead rest the toes on the floor and the heel onto the opposite leg. So that's another option. So whichever variation works for you. If you're able to, if you don't need to hold your chair, you can inhale, raise the arms, either keeping them overhead or bringing the hands into prayer position in front of the heart space. In this pose, focus on opening the knee outward. So you're getting some stimulation across the inside of the thigh. Again, trying to find positions of our body that we're not usually inhabiting when we're sitting at our desk. Feel how strong the left leg is, how hard it needs to work to keep us in this upright position. Let the belly be soft, but also keep a little bit of pull in that lower abdomen. So the tailbone's a little bit tucking down. And then from this pose, from tree pose, we're going to float into flying dragon. So for the float, start to open the arms out, take the right leg back behind you, and allow your torso to come forward, but still with a lift in the chest. So we're not sagging and dropping through the front body. We're elevated. The right leg, the one that's behind you, doesn't have to be particularly high. If you face the toes down towards the floor, it'll help keep activity in that leg. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back to center. Shake out the legs a little. That's a lot of work for that standing leg. So make sure everything's okay with you. Move the chair if you would like to, so you've got it on the other side, so your knee's not going to hit it. Stand your right foot on the floor and get really comfortable with the right foot on the earth. Check where the toes need to be. The toes and the knees should roughly be in alignment with each other. Bring the left knee up and place the sole of the left foot onto the inside of the thigh. If you can, it could be on the inside of the lower leg. It could be resting on the floor with just the heel resting against your opposite leg. So find what works for you. When you've found your position, see if you can stay there. Find a point to look at and let the gaze be soft. That's what we call finding your drishti. And then inhale, raise the arms up. Or keep hold of the chair if you need to. You can leave the arms overhead, or you can bring the hands into prayer position in front of the heart space. Soft belly, tailbone a little bit tucked under. Staying in this pose to give your right leg a chance to prove its strength, to give that left groin and left inner thigh a chance to open. And when you're ready to come into Flying Dragon, start to release the left foot off the leg, open your arms out, let yourself come forward. Still remaining with some lift in the chest. Back leg is active, but it doesn't need to be that high. Don't let it come too much into your lower back. Pull up a little bit with the belly to support your whole core with the front side. As you exhale, gently bring yourself back to standing, shaking out those legs again. You can do a little bit of movement and come into another still pose. So make sure you've got a bit of space around you. I'll turn sideways just so you can see what I mean. We're going to be inhaling and sinking down into that Utkatasana or chair pose. And then as we exhale, the arms float down, sweep along the floor and inhale back behind and go back behind us with the legs straightened. So we inhale up and we exhale back. Painting the aura, I'm standing up too much. My legs are tired. So the stronger you want it to be, the deeper you sink into Utkatasana. If you're feeling a little weary at the top, straighten your legs. Both are viable options. So you choose where you want to be. Let yourself float between these two poses. Make it as comfortable as you can. Sweeping the arms past the floor, lifting them up on each side of the body. And a couple more times. And last sweep. Again, a really good pose to do when you first wake up in the morning. So from here, we're going to come into Garudasana, eagle, with the legs and the arms. Find a place where you're comfortably standing on the floor. All the weight's going to be on the left leg. Pick up the right leg, and if you can, cross it over the left. Tucking the foot behind the calf, or resting the toes on the floor. Bring your arms out into cactus arms. And bring the forearms together. We're going to cross the left elbow over top of the right. Let yourself sink in here. Lift the elbows up. So if this isn't working for your legs, have the toes on the floor, or don't take the legs into it, just do the arms. Each inhale, lift through the elbows, working the hands away from the face. Each exhale, let yourself sink in. If you want to make it a little tougher, you can fold forward, bringing the elbows towards the knees. And as we did with tree pose, to exit, see if you can float that right leg back behind you and open your arms out to the side, lifting the chest, using the chair if you need it. And then inhale back to center, shaking out the legs. Then we're going to change side this time. Make sure that the right foot is really centered on the earth. Take a little bend in the knees. Wrap the left leg around the right, fully wrapped, with the toes tucked behind the calf, or the foot next to the leg, or the toes on the floor. Bring your arms out into cactus, forearms towards each other. This time the right elbow is crossing on top of the left. Lift through the elbows. Work the hands away from your face. Pull up a little in the belly, not so much that you can't breathe. You can stay here, or in whatever shape you've decided to be in. Or if it's appropriate for you, you have the strength in your legs, the flexibility through the spine, you might be able to fold forward, bringing the elbows towards the knees. And as you inhale, lifting, opening the arms, stretching the left leg back behind you. Be active in that left leg, a little lift to the chest. And as you exhale, placing the foot, hands to the chest, and then roll it out, shake it out. Making your way back to sitting. So you could be sitting on the floor, you could be sitting on your chair, your feet could be on the earth, or you could have your legs crossed. Let your arms and hands relax, palms face up if you're needing to lighten your load. Palms face down if you're feeling a little distracted and you need to be a little more centered. You choose which is most appropriate for you. Relax through the shoulders. Watch the breathing return to normal. Feel each deep inhalation and exhalation. Allow yourself to go completely internal. Feeling the shape of your body, the texture of the breath as it moves in and out. Breathing in, I know this is the perfect moment. Breathing out, I know it is the only moment. Breathing in, perfect moment. Breathing out, only moment. If you're able to, stay for a little longer. If you need to, get back to your day. Gently blink the eyes open. Reconnect to the world around you in honour of your practice. Namaste.